Welcome back to another episode on the VanillaTyme server. My name is Steph, and this is episode 20. And yeah, as you saw from the intro, we have another map. So I went with Goofy Movie this time. I thought it was kind of fun. It's just in the Disney stream, which, kind of lines up with the, what did I do the last time? The Timon and Pumbaa or Lion King. So I decided to go with, just more of that. And I watched the movie again recently, and it's a great movie. Come on. So, yeah, we're selling that in a shopping district now. And I guess I'm going to have to clean that map off eventually. I know, we just cleaned it last episode, and I'm already putting new crap on it. In this episode, I think we're going to try and finish the build for the minigame here. As you can see, I started working on the exterior, which looks ugly as sin. There's only so much you can do when it comes to working with diorite, and I wanted to keep the theme consistent with the rest of the town, but oh my gosh, this is looking boxy and ugly, and it's very square, and I don't have it curling in like I do with the boulders, and it's all flat on the sides, and yeah, this needs some TLC. Also, there's a tree behind it that I need to take down, but I just wanted to get some basic framework in, just so I could identify just kind of where the floor is going to go, so I could, access the important things I need to access. As you can see, this here is the counter for the scoring system. So I need a way of resetting it by pulling the items back out. So I left that open, so it's just kind of built into the floor now. So you can jump up and get into here. There shouldn't be any need to go in there, but just in case you need to. And then we've got a little staircase here now that goes up to the top, which is where your launching platform is. And then you can just jump down into the defense bay. So yeah, it's functional. It just, it's not that pretty. But I needed to do a couple things like keep this area open so the launcher still worked. I have to make sure that I'm not blocking that line of sight pathing or anything. I want to make sure that the scoreboard and the lights for when you shoot something are visible from the other side, so you can see the score and the lights are all good there. I can actually see, but yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more work on the exterior here before I start working on this one. So I want to make sure this one looks good, and then once it does, we'll copy it over. So that'll happen later this episode. But first, I wanted to cover this in a little bit more detail because I realized in editing that I kind of didn't show off the build for this farm very well last episode. So I want to do that a little bit. So yeah, as I mentioned last episode, this is a creaking farm. It only works at night because that's how creakings work. But it's just a little repeater clock here that's going into an observer. So you've got the one side shoots the pistons off, and then the observer has a little bit of delay and then pushes back on the other side. So it's just pushing them back and forth on this clock. And I've got it all double carpeted because I noticed that creakings spawn on carpets, which is weird. Mobs usually do not spawn on carpets, but they are the exception. They also spawn on glass and leaf blocks. So yeah, I thought that was weird. I didn't really go into much testing. I noticed in some other people's videos that half slabs work to stop spawning. So maybe I'll try doing that next time I try to build one of these farms. But for now, I just double carpeted everything because that seemed to solve the problem. And they don't spawn on things like redstone repeaters, I guess. But they do spawn on things like redstone wire. So yeah, kind of annoying, and not at all how mobs generally function. But anyway, so we push things back and forth, and that just sets off the resin, and then we go and collect it. This collection system is garbage. What you should do with a design like this is have a big water basin underneath, so regardless of where it pops off, it just lands in the water basin. I saw Tango's recent video where he builds a bigger creaking farm that's way more efficient than this, and it's really good. That's Tango Tech from Hermitcraft, and it's a really simple design. So I may actually just borrow that design. Excuse my cat. And yeah, and we may rebuild the farm. I'm probably going to leave this one here, though, because this was a fun little proof of concept, and I designed it myself. It's sketchy as crap, but it works. But yeah, so there's just this water, what's it called, dispenser that shoots a water bucket. So what I do is I just wait for the creepings to spawn here, because they won't spawn in water. And then I press this button, just turns the water on, that pushes them all into this corner, as well as any of the resin that pops off onto this side will go into that hopper. If it pops off from the other side, I got hoppers around the other side that pick it up as well and chain it down into the double chest. That's basically it. I just sit here and I whack away with my sweeping edge, and that gets the job done. But yeah, as I said, it's pretty slow. It only does like, I think it's like 8 stacks of resin like per night, which is not very fast for a resin farm. So don't copy this design. It's not that good. I also wanted to go through a couple of the new blocks because we kind of brushed over them a little bit. I mentioned wanting to use the pale oak fence, which I've done now. I'll show you in a second where I've utilized that. But we've also got pale oak doors, we've got trap doors, and then all the different block types. I like this. So I may try and use this somewhere. A little bit of purple may throw it off a little bit, but I don't know. I might try and find use for this. The resin clumps themselves I've started using, and they're actually really good for like peppering the floor or making an ore look more like an ore. Or you can actually use them to make orange trees, which I think looks really neat. Like just like a little flowering. I don't know if you want to call it orange tree or just like a special flower, but kind of gives it a bit of an azalea look, but with a different color. I thought that was really good. But if we come over back to the main part of the base, you can see I've replaced the walls here with the pale oak fence, and I think it looks great. I decided to keep the acacia doors here just for now. I may change that, I may not. And then I've done it over here as well. So yeah, looks pretty good. And I may have shown this before, I can't remember, but we come over here, you can see like I've added those resin clumps onto the ores and stuff, so it almost looks like it's like an ore vein now. This is kind of cool. It's like almost like a different type of copper or something. I don't know. And then I think I've also, yeah, so come over here, I've done a little bit of that as well over here, and just using the actual blocks themselves. I'm still experimenting, but I think it looks pretty cool. And something I didn't really mention before because I wasn't sure if it was worth a mention, but we have goats now. So yeah, that's a thing. And if we come inside, Harding was having issues. He wanted like a little hole that he could access to get in and out. So I just made one for him. So you can get in and out this way. It's just for breeding the goats and then coming back in and then close it back up. The only problem is that the baby goats can actually get through there. So you got to breed them up and then close the door pretty quickly. Otherwise they'll run through inside. So with that out of the way, I think we're going to spend some time on this and see if I can't get it into a, I don't know, respectable looking build. No promises, but we'll see what happens. You know, I started the video in this room with the intent of showing you what's in the shulker box, and I completely forgot because I got distracted by the map art. I participated in last week's weekly challenge. You can see the current weekly challenge is harvesting granite, which I've only done 116 blocks, which is terrible. But last week was glow squids, and I came second. So that's pretty cool. If you've seen my previous season, you'll know what the weekly challenges are all about. But if not, it's essentially each week there's a new challenge. You have to either kill a thing or mine a thing or eat a thing. And the last week was killing glow squid. So I found a area, which is pretty cool, for killing glow squids. If we come over here, I found this little hole, and it goes into this giant underwater basin area. If we, okay, yeah, there's a lot of mobs here. But if we come around over here, glow squids. And this is like a whole shelf. See if I can actually find the place I was at before. Right here. So I just spent a whole bunch of time down here. So you can stay down here pretty much indefinitely because of this stuff. And yeah, glow squids would just spawn like crazy. And I just spent a few hours hanging out in here and killed a bunch of glow squids. So that was fun. So like I said, I came second. I got that box, and I'll show you what's in it. as soon as I can find my way out of this place with one rocket. Oh gosh. Oh no. Tell me. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Didn't need extra rockets at all. So yes, there's a little bit of everything in here. Half a stack of sponges is always good. Some diamonds. We got ourselves a trophy. Some enchanting books. Some arrows that I'm probably just going to throw in the garbage. I do not need more arrows. Sea lanterns. This is looks like a very aqua based reward, which is kind of unfortunate because which yeah, I mean I should have seen coming, but because we have the prismarine farm. Well, this isn't super helpful, but you know, netherite scraps are good, and the diamonds are good. Heart of the Seas are always fun, and sponges are great. So yeah, I'm probably not going to seriously participate in the granite challenge because some people are over 8,000, 22,000, something crazy. In fact, if you do slash competition leaderboard, you can actually see what everybody's scores are. So yeah, first place is 21,900. Even so, you get rewards for the top three. So third place is 6969. I'm way the heck down here in 8th. I am not collecting 7,000 granite. I know it wouldn't take that long with a beacon, but I just can't be bothered. So you guys have fun with that one. I did it again. I came second again. This time it was a mystery competition, and the mystery was swimming? Yeah, I figured that one out pretty quickly. I tried a couple of different things. At first, I thought it might be a good idea to try and just set up a conduit and just swim around. That wasn't very effective. I tried using a bubble vader and just holding myself in swim mode with the W key held down, and that worked, but it was slow. Ultimately, just going into the ocean and attaching a lead to a dolphin to get Dolphin's Grace and just swimming around like that was the ticket, and yeah, I was able to get second, and we got a bunch of stuff. As you can see, the trophy is missing because I have already traded it in. And so if you didn't know, you can trade in 5 trophies in order to get a collectible. I've also gone ahead with Harding, and we've combined our collectibles. I'm just going to do this over here. We've combined our collectibles together, and we now have 2 full sets, and the third set is missing 3. Now, you need 3 sets, and a set is 24 unique collectibles, doesn't matter which ones. 3 sets gets you your own custom collectible, which is pretty cool. So if we actually look over here, this is my collectible. So I've done this on a previous map, and they do carry over. So Swift Sneak had literally just been released. And I figured, yeah, you know, netherite pants with Swift Sneak 3 would be kind of cool. It means you don't have to go into a ancient city in order to get Swift Sneak, if you get lucky with the collectibles. So what we're going to do is when we trade these 3 sets in, Harding's going to take it, and because you can only have 1 collectible per player. So Harding's going to do his with these, and I have no idea what he's going to do. I don't know what he wants. So that'll be a surprise for us. But as you can see, there's 3 missing. We actually have a couple extras. So as you can see, I've got a Dragon Slayer bow as well as Canadian's Flying Machine on me. I also have another mace, the bonk stick, and Harding also has each of those. So we could use 3 of those as part of the trade-in. I can just move some items around. There's like 40 different collectibles, so 24 unique ones actually isn't the entire set, right? So you see bonk sticks in number 2 and number 3, but not number 1. So we can always move a couple of these collectibles around to make sure that there's 24 unique ones in each box. Which means that we have the means to do this now. We're not gonna. I don't want to give up any of my collectibles that I'm currently using. But that means that we have 3 more to collect, and then we can trade in cleanly, or we can wait until the end of the season and then do the trade-in at the end of the season, since it will carry over to the next map. It does also take some time for them to add the collectible into the game, and they have to, like, the admins have to approve it. Because you can't have something like, you know Prot 100 armor, or, a sword with like knockback 50 or something like that. It's got to be reasonable. But there are certain things that you can't get in vanilla Minecraft that you can get as a collectible, like protection 4 flying machine. I say flying machine, protection 4 Elytra. So that's pretty cool. So I'll put these away. And we'll just have to remember to do that before the end of the season. So I've done a little bit of work. We've added a little bit more definition with some jutting rock bits and yeah, a little bit more three-dimensional on the back. And we come around to the sides, more like little boulder bits. And I've just kind of smoothed out the edges a little bit more. So I think this is about what we're going to keep it. So we'll take this and we'll replicate it on the other design. We've done a little bit of work on the gold farm. I know we haven't been back here in a little bit, but I wanted to just kind of go over a couple of things that I've added here. So as you can see, we've got just a single piglin, and I did this on purpose, but essentially we've just hooked up a full-on bartering farm, and what I've done is taken the output from the crafter here that crafts the nuggets into gold bars, and we're feeding it into this dropper elevator. And the dropper elevator goes up into here, into a double chest. Now, this double chest is sitting on top of a hopper, which I've currently got locked with this lever, because that powers this, which locks this. If I unpower it, it'll allow the gold ingots to feed into this dropper. Or rather, if you turn it on, see what I mean. It'll feed into here. And this one here, if this gets full, this will also feed down into this, which is what we want. Or rather, I think it does that first. Either way, this stays locked, which is good because that means that this piglin doesn't start trading until I tell it to, which I can do by pressing this button, and that primes it. So that'll spit out a gold bar, and then the gold bar, next one spits out, and that gold bar sitting on the pressure plate there is what keeps this torch off, which triggers back on when he takes the next bar, and that just keeps the system going. And as long as this thing's off, this hopper is unlocked, and if this is flicked open, this hopper is unlocked as well. So that means that everything will feed down into here. And I've done the math, and the farm is a little bit faster than the single piglin, which means that I can let this run while I'm AFKing, and the gold will actually back up a little bit, which is fine. It's very slow, and no amount of AFKing that I do on the servers, due to the server resets, will overflow the gold, which is great. Then the output of the piglin bartering just goes into this hopper underneath him, and that feeds into another dropper elevator, which runs into an impulse sorter. And we've got all of the different trades that he can do, as well as a slice just for the extra crap, and like the unsortables. And if any of these winds up overfilling, it'll go into the unsortables as a default. If this slice fills up completely, we have a... And I missed. We have this system, which is just like the one over on the other side, only I'm using fire because I was lazy instead of lava, but it just shoots all the items through a dropper here that burns the items. So it's just overflow protection in case we run out of space in the unstackables slot, which I'll have to keep an eye on this. It fills quite a bit faster than the others for obvious reasons, but mostly all we're looking for is the Soul Speed 3 books. We don't really need anything else in here. So I'm debating seeing if I can use allays to pick up the books. I don't know if they work with NBT data properly, and I don't know if they work with non-stackable items properly, but I'll look into it, and maybe we'll add a little section here which spits out the single items, and then maybe we can get an allay to pick them up, the ones we want, and then just burn the rest. So I'll do some work and see if that's feasible or not. And then if I want to stop the gold farm, all I have to do is stand here for a second. It picks up both items, right? And then that leaves that on, and that keeps that from running. And then I can also just turn that off so that any new gold doesn't go into this system here. Let me put those up there. If I really want to be careful with it, I can always just feed these back up into here. Fine too. So yeah, so we've got a full-on bartering system now. Like I said, it's just the one piglin. It's not super fast. It's just for personal use. I'm not planning on selling any of this stuff. This is just for my own building needs if I need anything, or if a neighbor asks for something, then I've got a bunch of extra. I made a bundle button. Press button, get bundle. Pretty simple, just a crafter with a button and the crafting recipe preset, just like what we do with the shulker box. Also, I've been learning a couple interesting things about bundles. I knew that you could put a bundle inside another bundle. Did you know that a bundle inside another bundle takes up 4 inventory slots of the bundle, plus whatever the inventory of that bundle happens to be? So, for example, if I put this bundle, which is empty, this bundle, which has 13 items in it, if I put that one inside, it now has 17 items in it, which is the 14 items inside the green bundle, plus the bundle itself, which is 4. So if I put this bundle inside this bundle, it takes up 4 item slots, which is kind of cool. I guess that's to prevent like infinite nesting, and also to keep you from being able to like just, you know, put an unstackable item inside of the bundle as a single slot, which would be kind of crazy. I know, I'm dragging my feet on this, but look, I made a schematic of this build. I lined it up, and I'm gonna start doing it, I swear. But this video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna cut it here, and hopefully at the start of next episode, this will just be done. And then we can move on to another project. So yeah, if you like what you saw, want to see more, subscribe if you're new, leave a like, comment, do all the fun stuff, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.